to This Week in Svelte episode 119. It was a pretty, it will probably be not too long because I just came back from a 14 hours trip yesterday and I did not prepare much. Sorry guys. But we're gonna take a look at the changelog. We're gonna take a look at some pretty interesting news. There is a new package, as you have seen in the thumbnail, which is pretty cool. And so let's jump right into it and let's see what's new in Svelte. So we have a new simplified batch logic. So this was something that I think Rich opened recently. After await, async await in component like the async await experimental feature, we now have the concept of a batch inside the reactive system. So a batch is basically like whenever you do some change, it will initiate a new batch, and all the changes made within that batch. Basically, it's a way to have different batches in case you have a set of changes and then while one of the changes is doing the await, the async work, a new change happens, it's a different batch. And this allows basically for stuff like updating a value that is not used in any await inside a boundary. It can be updated separately, basically. But the logic to do the batching was quite complex, and I think it actually introduced some bug, and so Rich reworked it, and now it's more simpler. It's simpler. It should be, at least. That's one of the parts of the codebase that I have basically zero experience yet, because I did not contribute to that part of the codebase. Rebase pending batches when other batches are committed. So this is also something that, so if we open in a new tab, we can see that it was also, it was part of that, probably. So this is an observable change, and it basically means that, before, I don't know if there's already, but basically, if you change a bunch of A and then you change B, I think this is already merged. So, it is definitely already merged. I don't know if it pointed to a specific version of Svelte, which is the right one. Which version is it? 5.39.6, which I assume is the last one. So we can probably try with, so this was released, oh no, it is the one, okay. So the fast B++ update is blocked on the slow A++ update, while in this PR, the B++ update occurs, followed by the A++ update. So the reasoning here is basically, if you have an await expression that runs twice, and the second one somehow resolved before the first, they are no longer forced to resolve in linear order. So this means that if those two awaits, before any update to B, even if B resolved faster than A, was still being applied after A so that it was in linear order, but now it's not anymore. So if you now do this, basically, since B is faster, it can be applied faster. So if I do this, you can see that B applies first and then A, while before, even if B was resolved before A, it was still applying after A. It's a bit convoluted. And at the end of the day, it shouldn't really cause any major problem in your application, but wrap async children in $renderer.async. So this probably was to allow for a wait within a children. So let's see. Await is not allowed in non-async function when using await with const inside a component. So If you were doing something like this with const, this is the children snippet by default, and so when you were rendering the children, this was not an async function, and so it was failing, and now it is not anymore, thanks to Ocean. Silence label warning for buttons and anchor tags with title attributes. So basically, if you have this is an accessibility feature that I didn't know about. So apparently, I guess, if you have a button with a title, it's not required to have an explicit label. It's not required to have. Oh no, I actually knew about it. I thought it was different. Like, you didn't need a label for an input in case you had a title, but it's not that. So basically, this was throwing at an accessibility warning before, saying that since there's no text inside, you need to specify an ARIA label. But if there is a title, it can count as an ARIA label, as a label, and so now it doesn't throw an error anymore. Coerce nullish title to empty string. So if you set a title within if you set a title within SvelteHead to a nullish value, it will be coerced to an empty string before it was actually trying to set null, which was causing an actual runtime error, which is a bit annoying from the DOM, but it's fine. So now we have 5.39.8, check boundary pending attribute at runtime on server. Oh, that's interesting. So if you are doing pending, it makes sense. So since now we also have async SSR, if you are using pending, if you are using pending like this, like this, okay, no, so that creates the skeleton and the client-side state change tells Val not to wait the content during SSR. The two things are coupled. One idea we've talked about is having a flag on the boundary, something like this. This would allow you to explicitly say, ignore the fact that this boundary has a pending snippet, I want SSR. I did think something like this might work, but it looks like we incorrectly interpret the presence of a pending attribute as a guaranteed. Okay, so the point is, something like this should work, but it was not working because by default, if it had a pending attribute, it was like considering this boundary like skippable in server-side rendering. And so this fix is actually to check that if pending is nullish, it's not. If pending is nullish, it will not it will await the value on the server. So that's nice, because now you can do something like that. Preserve tuple type in state.snapshot. Okay, so if you have a tuple type, so this is just at the type level. If you have a tuple, it will actually return a tuple, which is good. Allow await in Svelte boundary without pending. Oh, so we also have now. It makes sense. Like before, like since now you don't have to have a Svelte boundary without pending inside to use await. You can also have a Svelte boundary that catches the error without actually have a pending snippet inside, and it was erroring out before. Update bind checked error message to clarify usage with radio inputs. Okay. Let's see. We have a SvelteKit, 3 SvelteKit release, ensure cache keys consistent between client and server. I guess this is about the cached key for remote functions. Keep resolve relative to initial based during pre-rendering. So resolve is this function that it's now available in SvelteKit. It's been a while to like basically resolve a link so that you don't like it's a typed link basically, so you don't have to like remember all of your links. Avoid including head twice when an unhandled HTTP method. Sorry guys, I'm very tired. So avoid including head twice when an unhandled HTTP method is used in a request to a plus server handler that has both a get handler and a head handler. Okay, so probably the head handler was included automatically, but if it already has a head handler, we don't need to add the other one. Smooth scroll to deep link. So I think this when navigating to a harsh fragment on another page, the capture scroll position is wrong if the page's scroll behavior is smooth, because it gets captured at the start of the scroll rather than at the end. Okay, that's interesting. So like if you navigate and there is a scroll behavior smooth and you try to save the information about the scroll position, so that basically when you navigate, really navigate, like not client-side navigate in an application, the browser automatically stores your position, like your scroll position, right? However, sorry guys. So basically, the issue is that when you client-side navigate, SvelteKit needs to basically like mimic this behavior, and so to do it, we store the information about the scroll position, and then we restore the scroll position when you click back. And it was a problem when scroll behavior was smooth, because obviously it takes time to navigate, and since it takes time to navigate, when the information about the scroll position is captured, it's still navigating, it's still scrolling down the page. So yeah, this fixes it. All right, let's see what else. Okay, fix correctly type the result of form remote function that do not accept data. Okay, so this probably was mistyped. Force remote module chunks to isolate themselves. So I think this is another, it's probably part of like a follow-up fix to something. Yeah. Lazily remote function files discovery. So like basically there is this problem, like we need to lazily discover remote functions, which means that like we don't want to do it like immediately at build time basically, and there is a problem with that. So initially this was the reason why you could only have remote function from remote.ts files, and guys, I'm sorry, I'm very tired. And from lib and from source. So after we changed it, so we started using manual chunks instead, but it can cause some weird chunking bugs, and so we are trying to find a new solution for these bugs. I can't remember why this was closed. Yeah, okay, so I think, yeah, okay, so it's an alternative to this, which is extremely clever but makes me nervous. So it's still using manual chunks, but adds another layer. Any modules imported by .remote.ts files are also put in their own chunk. This has the effect of forcing each chunk corresponding to a remote.ts module to only contain that module, and none of the dependencies that roll up incorrectly deemed safe to include in the chunks. Okay, this is some pretty hard bundling stuff. And who better than Rich that actually wrote rollup to figure out what's going on. But it's nice. So this is fixed, like this is merged, so now it should work fine. HMR for query, this is a pretty interesting bit. So now query actually can HMR. So if you are, I'm sorry. So I suppose that if you have a query, like if you change a query, it will actually hot module replace that. Avoid client modules while traversing dependency to prevent flash of unstyled content during dev. So it's fine that it was only during dev, but it's nice that it's also fixed. Skip pre-bundling of remote.js files. More robust remote file pattern matching. Okay, so it was probably matching stuff that was not meant to be matched. We have a bunch of one new release, which probably means that it's always the same. Update homepage field in package.json. And update homepage field in package.json. And I suppose update homepage field in package.json. Same. Enhanced image, same. All right, we have a new SV release. This Janive actually okay, so I was looking at the chat and I was saying like, what are they talking about? And they're talking about the package page which we're gonna explore in a bit. I was a bit confused. So Janive actually sent me like, please, before doing the demonstration, test these and I guess these. So I did it. But I did it like 1 second before starting the presentation. So there are a couple of fixes for this from Playground, which we actually saw it last time. But now, basically, let's say that I have my svelte.dev/playground. Let's say that I go to my saved app and I don't know, I want timer. So I have made this very nice timer for my wife, which I technically still need to fix. But let's say that now I want to actually confetti. Let's say that now I want to actually use this playground locally. What I can do is that I can move this here and I can do sv create -- from playground, and I need to pass this, I think. Let's see. Okay, so now we can actually see this. Let me zoom in a bit. I can't zoom in, it's fine. So you can see that the Svelte maintainer does not have not reviewed Playground for malicious code. Use at your discretion. This is very important. And then it asks me like, where do I want to save it? Let's say timer. I can add TypeScript. The following external dependencies were found in the Playground. So since I'm using NeoConfetti Svelte, do you want to install this external dependency? Yes. Then obviously I can add stuff to the project. So I can say I want prettier ESLint, and maybe I want SvelteKit adapter and DevTool.json, and that's it. And I want static, and then I want PMPM. By the way, this is auto-selecting ban because I mistakenly run ban init in my stuff folder. And so it's correctly like thinking that we are in a ban project. So it's not a bug, Jean-Yves. pm installing. And so now, technically, I can do cd timer. And if I do this, I can actually do pm-dev. Let's see. I should have a local version of the playground, and look at that. Would you look at that? That does not have the count there for some reason, but it's fine. I think it's just like I probably where do I have the style? Yeah, it's fine. I don't care. Like I was probably, and sorry for the flashbang, by the way, but it worked. Like that's probably my code fault rather than. Yeah, I know this. All right, so it worked. It worked. Luckily, even if I didn't properly test it before joining the live stream, it will not get mad at me. Bump default version, improved TypeScript detection, which is always nice. Export types, that's nice. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, I think that's actually it. So let's actually go to svelte.dev/packages. And this is the new release that we worked on. Because a lot of people actually continue to assume that Svelte does not have an ecosystem, and this is basically our answer to that question. Like, does Svelte has an ecosystem? So this is not even all the Svelte ecosystem. Like, this is just literally our like maintainer approved list of packages to do various stuff. So as you can see, like this page basically has like all the Svelte CLI add-ons. So this is everything that you can add with the Svelte CLI, which is Tailwind, Drizzle, MDisvex, and you can click Show All to do like Lucia, Storybook, Prettier, ESLint, VTest, Playwright, Paraglide, and DevTools.json. But like this is what you can add with the CLI, and probably soon you can also add something more. Like they are already working on community add-on, which is very nice. I cannot wait for that. However, there's also like a bunch of actually useful libraries, which is like component library. So how you build a component library? Well, you can use Shadcyan Svelte or Bits UI or Skeleton, or you can use Flowbyte Svelte or ArcUI Svelte or Daisy UI, Svelte Material UI, Carbon Component. You can use Melt, Svelte Strap. These are all the SvelteKit adapters. So this is all the platforms that you can deploy. SvelteKit to. So Netlify, you can see like there are 12 adapters currently, and there's even something like there is like those are the official adapter. But for example, for Dino, there is @Dino Svelte adapter. This is the official Dino adapter. Amplify, SvelteKit SST. Like this is to deploy through SST on AWS. This is to deploy a ban package, and this is to deploy on App Engine, which I think it's Google. Even to build to a Chrome extension. So pretty nice. How to do content on your application. There is MDisvex, there is content collection, EX Markdown. Like as you can see, like even this, like this is actually manually curated, but there is still a lot of packages that you can use. Like this is for icons, data visualization, authentication, and third-party services like Sentry, Velstripe, Clerk, and Storyblock, Inlang. So all of these is to kind of show that it's not true. Like, you can use Svelte because like the ecosystem is there. Like, there is a bunch of stuff already, and again, this is not even all of it. Like, this is just something that we think you can use to build to build a Svelte application, and you can you can use all this stuff to build a proper application. So share this around whenever your boss tell you we cannot use Svelte because it does not have an ecosystem. Like, this is your go-to card to tell them it's not true. So yeah, that kind of was it. So there is some comment before. Like, for example, senior like SRG learn code said something that I am happy about it because I'm the maintainer of SvelteLab. I'm one of the maintainers of SvelteLab. But what he said is that okay, I'm serious here. I know it's not a package, but how the heck is not SvelteLab somewhere in there? And the answer is that SvelteLab is not a package. Like, this is meant to, it's not just about the ecosystem, it's just about like what you can use to build your application. But yeah, we can probably add something like resources, and SvelteLab will definitely be there. And for those who are unaware, SvelteLab is an online repo to use SvelteKit application. So it's just like the Svelte repo, but for SvelteKit basically. And me and Antonio Sarcevic built this during the Svelte hackathon, the first Svelte hackathon, and we packed it with like SvelteKit specific stuff, and it's using web container under the hood. And so yeah, I think it's nice. If you need some quick REPL, you can use it. Let's see. Before, in GoTo, when you do GoTo scroll to ID, this works even if you're coming from different route. Now it's not working anymore, only work if you are inside the parent of that ID route. Okay, so this is actually, so Mike is doing I had to refresh the page. Paul was already there for half an hour. So actually, it actually hides me, but like, this is just a bug report. So Mike, if you have a reproduction, feel free to open an issue on SvelteKit, and we can see if there is an actual bug or if it's an intended behavior. All right, I think that's it, guys. I know it's not like it was a quick one, but there's not much to say. As I've said, like, I've come back from a trip yesterday, and I didn't have time to prepare anything, but we will definitely have some news next week, I'm pretty sure, because I'm working under the hood to bring you something new. So we will definitely have something to talk about next week, and we should also start back with showcases. We have planned, we still have a storybook. We need to finish the series on storybook, and we also have Svedit. Michael will join us to show us how he builds Svedit, which is a very nice, like, a SvelteKit application that you can edit just like a CMS. All right, thank you guys. Thank you for joining. I hope you learned something, and I hope you had fun time here with me. See you guys next Friday. Bye.